Concessions.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Coops Concessions. We are here to talk about the top 10 movies of 2025. Now, I didn't see every single movie of the year, and there's only one movie on this list that I didn't get a chance to review because I didn't really have enough time to. But we're going to get through this list, and then later on, we'll do the top 10 worst movies of 2025. But right now, we're talking about what's good. Please make sure you guys leave a like. Make sure you guys subscribe. And if you feel like there is a movie that needs to be on this list, please leave it in the comments below. But let's kick it off with number 10.
10,
Coming in at number 10, we have The Long Walk. This was one of the Stephen King stories that got turned into a movie. There was a few of those this year. But this movie was actually really, really good. A lot of young actors that I never really seen before, really showing out, really showing their skills. And the setting of this movie was just completely different. Watching these boys walk the entire time and trying to see who's going to make it, who doesn't make it. There was a huge build up to this movie, but the build up fell flat for me. It didn't. I wasn't satisfied, and I understand that's how the book is, and all that stuff. I guess they tweaked a few things, but at the end of it all, I was not satisfied. Sitting on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going to happen, and then you're just like, um, so it was good, but I mean, maybe you'll enjoy the ending, but I didn't so much, and that's why it sits at number 10.
9,
Coming in at number 9, we have A Good Fortune. This was the only movie on this list that I didn't get a chance to review. I caught it pretty late, and this movie was actually really good. This is actually like a really feel good kind of movie, and I laughed a lot harder than I expected to in this film. Um, But when you have Kiki Palmer, Seth Rogen, Aziz Ansari, and Keanu Reeves, I guess you're expected to have a good time, right? This is the movie with Keanu Reeves is like the budget guardian angel for Aziz Ansari and helps him see life in a different view. Um, this movie was hilarious, and there's a lot of small messaging in this movie to appreciate the small things and definitely don't text and drive. Great film. Definitely check it out. Number 9. Let's see what we got for number 8.
8,
8, Final Destination Bloodlines or Final Destination 7. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what I feel like Final Destination is. It's just the same format every single time, and the entertainment factor comes on of how horrific these deaths are, how normal everyday things happen in your life, and they just turn into these crazy death scenes that entertain us, and it's the same thing, and they could keep doing these forever. We can have Final Destination 20, and I'll still sit there and watch them. It's been 14 years since the last Final Destination movie, and it just is like the entertainment never fails. It just kind of picked right back up where it was, and just yeah, like it felt kind of nostalgic because it hadn't came out so long. But this was very entertaining, very funny. Well, maybe it's funny to me. I laugh at these death scenes. I don't know if that's something, if that's just me or not. But Final Destination, like I said, you can't go wrong with these films. Definitely entertaining. What do we got at number 7?
7,
Next up, we have Ballerina. This is the John Wick spinoff about the little girl seeking revenge on her family. No dogs were killed or harmed in this movie, but this was a great movie to see a different perspective of the background characters that we normally see in the John Wick world. There's so many people that we run into. If you've seen the John Wick series, there's so many people that's in the Continental Hotel, and you're like, yo, what's their story? How did they get in there? Who did they kill? And I feel like this franchise can keep that going with different storylines. Um, Ana de Armas did a great job as this character that we see her origin story, we see her training, and we kind of see things that have always been in the background of John Wick. And you may ask yourself that questions about what's going on back there, and this kind of opens up that world a little bit more. Now she's not John Wick by any means, but she still definitely kicks ass. This movie is highly entertaining and it fits perfectly in that world of John Wick. I would definitely love to see more of the ballerina franchise, or just other assassins in this world, and see them get their own spin-offs and keep it going. John Wick is a great franchise, and I want to see more of this world. What's next?
6,
F1 the movie. This was one of those really good summertime feel good movies. The story is a bit cliche. You got the sports movie where there's no real antagonist. You have the old protagonist and the new protagonist. They bump heads and they have to come together to win the championship. You've seen this movie 1,000 times, but when you have Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Benicio del Toro playing the characters in this movie, it's much more than just that. This movie is incredible. You walk out the theater feeling like you can do anything. It's one of those feel good sports movies. Um, the racing in this movie is incredible. The cars look great, and you really do feel like you're in the driver's seat of this movie. They do a really good job with that. The director was Joseph Kosinski, who also did Maverick, Top Gun, and that's kind of the same feeling. So you can imagine the type of movie you're getting into. Like I said, it sounds cliche, but when you have these actors doing it, it's definitely above and beyond.
5,
We are down to the top five, and number five is Bugonia. This movie was directed by Yorthos Lanthimos, starring Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. And this movie is kind of silly if you think about the concept. Just the concept alone of like two men kidnap their CEO boss because they feel that she's an alien and they want her to contact the mothership and make Earth better than what it was. It sounds silly to be honest with you, but the acting in this movie is absolutely incredible. Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons are incredible, so much so that you're constantly going back and forth like maybe she's an alien, maybe she's not an alien, maybe she is because she just did something weird, or maybe he knows too much about something. You're going back and forth a lot constantly. Like, the movie's crazy, the score is crazy. This movie is absolutely incredible, and I would not be surprised. They've won tons of Oscars together, so I wouldn't be surprised if they won more Oscars with this movie. This movie was damn good. And you get a pretty solid answer at the end of the movie whether she is or not an alien, but it's just like it just plays with your head the whole way through. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommend that you check this one out.
4,
Coming in at number four, we have Bring Her Back. This movie was nothing like I expected. Absolutely nothing like I expected. I knew I was getting into a horror movie, and the guys that did Talk to Me did this movie too, but this is nothing like Talk to Me. This is like a crazy horror mystery that gets pretty dark and pretty creepy, but I could not turn away from it. I had to know what the hell was going on in this movie. And I don't think this movie's going to get a lot of credit of that it deserves. Um but damn, like, this movie's creepy. This movie's creepy in a way of like, I just, you don't want to look at what's happening next, or you kind of don't want to see the next scene, but like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure out what's going on in this movie, and I don't even want to really give you much away because I don't even know how to explain it. But if you love horror and you love mystery, I highly recommend Bring Her Back. Definitely one of the top horror movies of this year. But speaking about horror mysteries,
3,
Weapons is number three. This was the horror mystery of the year. I was in my seat feeling like a detective the entire time. I absolutely love this movie. This movie it goes right into it too. We're not wasting any time. You got to figure out why these kids woke up at 2:17 in the morning and they just like disappeared. What's going on? Who took them? Where are they? There's so many questions in your head. There's This movie gives you the perspective of every main character, and even sometimes within the same day too. So you're really sitting here trying to figure this out. And the movie sets it up that way so perfectly. Such great acting in this movie. Julian Garner, Joshua Brolin, Benedict Wong. This movie is just this movie really had me on the edge of my seat. And the entire theater was like really into it. I felt like we were all like in some big escape room or some big project that we were just watching together and we all had to solve it. This movie was great. Great, great horror movie. It's not a comedy by any means, but there are hilarious moments in this movie. Not to the point where it takes away from what it is that you're watching, but just small moments in this movie that just like have you laughing pretty hard. This movie is really creepy, very suspenseful, and just interesting from beginning to end. I had a few questions as to like why did that happen and why did this happen that kind of didn't really get answered. But I did hear that the director, Josh Krieger, is doing a prequel, which would absolutely help me a lot. I've seen this movie many times, and I highly recommend that you see it too. Weapons is definitely one of them ones. You feel me? Um, what's number two?
2.
If it's a 3 hour movie and it's starring Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm in there. And that's exactly what One Battle After Another is. This movie has an amazing all star cast. Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity, Vincent Del Toro, Regina Hall, Wood Harris, and villain of the year, if you ask me, Sean Penn. This movie feels like it's all over the place, but in such a good way. You're not necessarily lost. It's just a lot happening. And this movie does actually cover a lot of the serious matters of material that we're dealing with today, but it pokes fun at it in a very tasteful way. It doesn't necessarily choose its sides, but everybody's getting these jokes one way or another. You know what I'm saying? This movie's action packed. This movie is a lot of drama. It's very suspenseful. Intense thriller moments throughout the entire movie. Like I said, this movie's almost 3 hours long, but it doesn't feel that way. This movie feels fast paced. The score is like a jazzy, fast paced type of movie. You feel like you're with these characters, whether they're driving away from something or they're running with someone. You feel like you're there with them. And this movie is just like absolutely incredible, absolutely engaging all the way through. Tons of different emotions going on in the film. And yeah, absolutely incredible. Shout out to Paul Thomas Anderson. Like I said, when people are in a Paul Thomas Anderson film, it's time to clock in. There's no games being played, and you could tell in this movie too. Um, I've only seen this movie twice. I might see it again in theaters. I heard it's coming back out in theaters, but this was just incredible, absolutely incredible. Highly recommend that you see this movie, but it's not number one. So what could possibly be number one?
1.
You knew what it was. You knew what number one was, and you were right. It is Sinners. Sinners is the number one movie of 2025. I saw this movie strictly off of Ryan Coogler alone. I think he has fantastic films from Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther till now. Like, it is just flawless all the way through. This movie gets you so invested in the characters in the beginning that you almost forget that this is a vampire movie. You know, like I love the characters. The performances are incredible. There's such a rich style of this movie being shot. There's so much culture in this movie, and then you see a vampire. You're like, oh snap! This is a horror movie. It does not disappoint at all. At all. Like I said, the performances are great. Michael B. Jordan, look, I'm not a Michael B. Jordan hater, okay? But I have said in the past that every character that he plays in this movie seem like they can all be the same person, which that's not a bad thing, but this is the first time, besides Killmonger, this is the first time where I was like, oh, like Michael B. Jordan is playing two different people. He's playing twins that have two different personalities, and not once in this movie that I feel like this is two Michael B. Jordans, absolutely incredible. I got to give it to him. The acting, playing twins is incredible. Haley Steinfeld, I always felt like she is like the comic relief in a lot of the movies that she played in, whether it was like Pitch Perfect or even the show Hawkeye too. She's always like cracking jokes, but she was very serious and very I've never seen her in this in this movie before, and just like it kind of just like brings her acting level all the way up. Miles Catton, seeing his movie debut, amazing. His voice is amazing. Delroy Lindo. This movie is packed with great actors. I was so engaged in this movie. Like I said, like I forgot that this movie had vampires in it. Um, when it goes down and it has the intense moments, you feel like you've already built a bond with these characters. So it kind of hits harder when when the action scenes break in and all the stuff is going down. Um, when it came to Ryan Coogler's like his the way he films his movie, I was watching a YouTube video about him explaining aspect ratios. I'm not even into stuff like that to be honest with you, but like I sat there and watched it because I was so intrigued at how this movie was shot, how it looks. It looks so beautiful. This movie is amazing and such an original story too. I remember hearing like, oh, it's just like Dust Till Dawn, but like yeah, but I think it only feels that way because like in the like I said, half of the movie you're invested in the characters, and then the other half of the movie we have a different kind of film. It's a horror film now, but like I found myself just connected to the artistic filmmaking of this movie, just like how it looks, just how it sounds, absolutely incredible. The sound design is just absolutely amazing. It's incredible to add layers of so much intensity in this film and so much symbolism in the movie and in the music. It's just this movie's a masterpiece, and that's why it's number one. That's why it's number one because it's a masterpiece, and I highly recommend that you see all the movies that I mentioned. But Sinners is definitely it. I think it's coming back out in theaters now again, and I'm sure it'll be doing that from years to come. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my top 10 movies of 2025. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Is there some movies that I did not mention on here? I do have some honorable mentions. Let's do that real quick. My two honorable mentions are Drop and Companion. Great movies. Great movies. They didn't make the list only because I didn't know where to put them, or these movies were just a little bit better than those. But yeah, man, great year of 2025. A lot of these movies I was anticipated to see, and they were really good. But you know what's next. You know what's next. It's the top 10 worst movies of 2020. We're not gonna do it right now, but my next video will have it, and I'm going in. Okay, I don't want to hear. I'm going in. All right, I'm not holding back. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to Coops Concessions. Make sure you leave a like, a dislike, and leave a comment below in the section. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys for everyone that watched all my my reviews this year. Left a like, a dislike, a comment, whatever. I truly appreciate all of you. We're going to keep it going in 2026. But like I said, we got one more video to do, and it's the worst of 2025. That's coming up next. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Coop. I'm out. Peace.
Coops Concessions.